Hey, what's going on, all y'all? Today I want to talk about order of operations. It's also known by an acronym, PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally from leaving the room, which stands for from the left to the right. Okay, in 8th grade math, you're going to see this in some typical problems, like this one right here, 4 minus 2 times 2. Remember, parentheses stand for multiplication. Okay, so right here I've got 4 minus 2 times 2. Alright, P parentheses. Alright, there's nothing I need to do inside the parentheses because there's no addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Alright, there's no operations inside there. So I skip to the next one, E for exponent. Now, none of these has an exponent on it, or if you want, you can imagine that they all have exponents, which are 1, so it really doesn't matter. Okay, so the next thing that I need to do is remember that if I have a number juxtaposed with a parentheses, the operation that's implied by that, that's not actually written, is multiply. Alright, so this problem actually looks like this. And mathematicians always want to keep things simple, and this right here is actually easier for most people to understand than that right there. It's just a quicker way to write it. Actually, an even quicker way to write this expression is to, well, solve it and figure out what it actually is equal to, what number. So, the next thing I'm going to do is the multiplication right here. Alright, so in order to do that, I'm going to carry down the 4 minus, and then I'm going to perform that operation right there. 2 times 2 is 4, and I'm left with 4 minus 4, and everybody knows that a number minus itself is equal to 0. Okay? Alright, and I can go back and I can check my work. Okay, well, I made sure that I did the parentheses first. No exponents to worry about. Let's see, multiply. Well, I realized that this was multiplication right there. I multiplied it. 2 times 2 was 4. And then I carried my 4 down all the way until I needed to use it in the addition and subtraction step right here. 4 minus product of 2 and 2, 4, is 0. So I checked my work. Okay, let's move along. Alright, this one's a little bit more complicated, but we're still going to follow the acronym PEMDAS. Anytime that we're evaluating an expression, evaluating, of course, just means we're performing the operations that are shown. Okay, so the first thing I take care of is the parentheses. 5 minus 1 I know is 4. So I'm going to write that right up above it, 4. And remembering that juxtaposition right here means times. This expression right here, just this part of the expression, means 2 times 4. So I'm going to do that and carry it down. 2 times 4 is 8. Then I'm going to carry the rest of the expression down and just do it one step at a time. Okay, there's the parentheses, no more parentheses. Now, exponents, remember they're all 1, so I don't need to worry about it. 1, 1, 1. And the next thing I do is the multiply divide step, and I see that right here, 8 divided by 4. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that. 8 divided by 4 is 2. And I'm going to carry down the rest of the expression, which is minus 1. So I know that 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Okay. So now I'm going to check my work. Okay, 5 minus 1 is 4. I have it written right up there. 2 times 4 is 8. Good. Now I carry down the rest of it, divided by 4. Minus, oh, take a look at that. It was actually a plus, and I carried it down as a minus. Alright, so I need to change some things, okay? I'm going to cross that out right there. And this should actually be plus 1. Alright, plus 1. Okay, now I'm back on track. I got 8 divided by 4 plus 1. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 should be my answer. Okay, I'm going to check that one more time. 5 take away 1 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Divided by 4 plus 1. Okay. 8 divided by 4 is 2. plus 1 is 3. Okay, so I checked it. Okay, let's move on to this one right here. Okay, now remember, when I have parentheses, what that means is when they're juxtaposed, anything stuck right next to a parentheses means multiply. I'm using the dot for multiplication, by the way. I'm not sure if you all have seen that too many times. Looks like a time sign. Since you're in 8th grade, or maybe leaving 8th grade at this point, you know that a time sign is usually written as a dot because once you get into algebra, time sign looks a lot like an X, which is going to mean something different, be a variable. Okay, so let's take care of the things in parentheses. I'm going to circle that just because it's an operation. All right. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. So the expression is 4 times 2. All right, and I know that 4 times 2 is equal to 8. Now I'm going to check it. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. All right, let's move over to this one. Now, this one doesn't have any parentheses. Okay, so we're going to skip that step. See, I got an exponent. It's just 6 to the first. Actually, well, maybe they make this a little more complicated, and let's throw a 2 right there. So that'll be 2 to the second power. And instead of 6, I'm going to make this 16. All right. That's a little more tricky. Okay, parentheses first. Don't have any parentheses. So what I've got is an exponent. So I'm going to take care of that first. Exponent. 16 to the first is 16. Anything to the first power is itself. I'm going to carry down my divided by. 2 to the second power. Don't get confused on your exponents. A common mistake is to think that 3 to the second power is equal to 3 times 2, which is 6. That is not right. Not right. 3 times 2 is, 3 to the second power is way different than 3 times 2. It's actually 3 times itself as many times as is in the exponent. So 3 times itself 2 times, and 3 times 3 is equal to 9. All right, that was just an example. I'm not actually working it down here. I just want to show you the difference between a number to the second power and, say, a number that's times itself. Okay? Just make sure that you know the difference. This is a common mistake right there. This is the right way to do it. All right, 2 to the second power is 2 times 2. It's 4. And I'm just going to carry that down right there. Now, got another multiplication step right here. And when you do multiplication division, you do them in order from left to the right. So in other words, it's like you can pretend that you're going to do that first, because this operation is to the left. This one's to the right. Okay? I'm going to just carry these down, though, just to show you good practice. It's good practice just to carry things down and write them out. Not do too much in your head, because you can definitely make mistakes. Okay. Now, I'm going to do multiplication division left to right. 16 divided by 4 is 4. I'm going to take away. And I'm just going to keep writing this out. Even though it's going to be a little bit lengthy, it's the best way to do it. Okay. 4 take away 1 times 8. So I'm going to do that next. 4 take away 1 times 8. Anything times 1 is itself. 8, and carry down the divided by 4. Okay, 4 take away. Now you do multiplication division before subtraction. Carry down the 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 4 take away 2 is 2. Now let's check it. Okay. These parentheses I put in while I was talking about the problem, so they're not really there. All right, so first thing you want to do in PEMDAS is you want to do parentheses. Sorry, those weren't there. Is exponents after that. So 2 times 2 is 4. All right, everything else is carried down. Good. All right, next thing, multiplication, division. Left to the right. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. Check that the rest of it was carried down right, and it was. Okay, next thing, multiplication, division from the left to the right. Oh, there's 1. 1 times 8. 1 times 8 is 8. Okay, carried down the rest of everything. All right, 8 divided by 4 should carry down and be 2. 4 carries down. 4 take away 2 is 2. All right, looking good. One more to go. This one's a little bit more complicated, but not really. All right, we're just going to follow PEMDAS. P-E-M-D-A-S. PEMDAS. Okay, so parentheses. Now, when you do parentheses and you have 2 pairs of parentheses like we do here, you do the inside parenthesis first. Okay? So this little parenthesis is inside the big parenthesis, so we'll do that first. 2 times 2 is 4. All right? So now I'm going to carry everything down and rewrite it because that's the best way to do it, because it makes it easier to go back and check your work later. All right. Got 3 parenthesis 4 minus, carry down my 4, close a parenthesis, and I'll carry this stuff down as well. You can skip this once you get a lot of practice at it. You can skip carrying everything down, but it's always a good idea, especially as your math becomes a little bit more complicated, to just keep carrying things down, just because it's easier to check at the end. All right, another set of parentheses, so I'll do that inside. 4 minus 4 is 0. So I'm going to carry down 3, and I'll take away the parentheses and write times 0 plus 5 divided 5. Okay. Now, multiply, divide from left to the right. 3 times 0 is 0. Carry everything else down. And let's see. I'll carry down my, I got a 5 divided by 5 is 1. And the answer is 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. Okay, let's go back and check it. Inside parentheses first, 2 times 2 is 4. All this, there's my 4. All this should carry down. Don't know why I wrote the 0 there. That really wasn't necessary. But it was solving 4 minus 4. Okay, so there's my 2 times 2 is 4. My 4 minus 4, and I got rid of that first set of parentheses when I carried it down, because they would be right there for this expression. Okay. All right, 3 carried down times 4 minus 4 is 0. Carried down the rest of it, plus 5 divided plus 5. Okay. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 5 divided by 5. Okay. 0 plus 1 is 1. All right. Checks out. All right. Hope you liked it, everybody. Hope you learned something. Share, like, subscribe. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.